The next part is where it really starts having more effect on music theory. We recognize that both terms are also used as a proper name. Okay? So we're going to go over to the keyboard for a minute and explain these all 12 slices and the way we named them. Oh my God, some of you are going, dude, Austin, this is so simple. Some people, this is brand new. Bear with me, advanced musicians. This is going to give you a lot of things. So remember there's a C, and hopefully on your keyboard, put your finger on the C for me for a second, if you want to, if you can, if you're able to. And if I want to go up a half step, is that either sharp or flat? Sharp. Because sharps go and flats go. So if I want to raise the C by a half step, I'm going to sharp it as a verb, thus playing the note. What do you think it's going to be called? C sharp. Right. So this is C sharp. Sing half step. Sing it. Half step. Now sing it in tune with me. This is the first note. Ready, go. Half step. Right. So a C up a half step becomes a C sharp. Okay. Now what's this note right here? Can everybody see this? What's this note? D. That's a D. It's a whole step above C. Whole step. Sing it. Whole step. Now sing it in tune. Come on. Whole step. That's better. So from the D, if I want to lower the D by a half step, I would flat it, because sharps go and flats go. So if I want to take D and I want to flat it like a verb, I'll play this note, which we then call D flat. Wait a second. A second ago we called that C sharp, did we not? Isn't that C sharp? D flat? It's both. There's a word called inharmonic. Inharmonic means this note has two names. Now why that is, you're going to find out over the course of the class. But I understand it might be a little confusing. Okay? But typically, when you're in a particular piece of music, you're only going to give it one particular name. Okay? So if I'm in a certain area of music, during that song, let's say, I'll always call it D flat because of a system of rules we're going to learn. Another song, I might call that C sharp. Okay? But know that it has both names, and that's inharmonically. So if I say, well, I know it's C sharp, but it's also inharmonically called D flat. But that'll impress your friends at parties that you know that word. Okay? So inharmonic means I'm using the same name, the two different names for the same note. Okay? But it's named in association and relation to the white key that it's nearest to, in the direction of sharps go and flats go. Okay, now, if you know this, you've been playing piano for a while, and you totally know, don't answer for me. If you're a guitar player or you don't have a clue, try to answer this for me. Just shout it out. What note is this? F it is, and I'll give, nice, and I'll give grace to whoever said G because it's kind of hard to see from up here. Now, then what note would this be? F sharp, and then it would also have another name of G flat. Now be honest with me. Who in here says, I'm lost, bro, I don't quite get it?
Why isn't the E called if you're going down in F flat?
It actually is. Brilliant question. Where's the candy bowl? It technically is called that, and you're actually going to see a little bit later as to that it gets used occasionally, but more often than not, the white keys are always labeled them things. But technically, according to the system, this is an F, and if I flat an F, or I go down a half step, I would play this white key, which we usually call E, but also could be called F flat according to the system theory. It's typically not used, but it does come up once in a while. So it's a good question, and we actually cover a little bit more as to why that is later. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit. Okay. So this guy right here, that looks like a tic-tac-toe or a pound sign or a number sign. That's the symbol for sharp. Oops, can't write. There's this kind of stylized looking B symbol. But if you're using a computer keyboard, you just use a lowercase b, but it's technically a slightly different symbol than that. And that's the symbol for flat. And then when we need to put a symbol around where we do have to indicate natural, which is not all the time, but it's just we're dealing with, wait, G sharp and A sharp and B flat, wait, I'm actually saying a B natural. When I have to specify that I'm going natural, if I'm going to write it out, I use this symbol here, which is a box and has a little line there and a little line there. You might see that on your paper. Okay, so this is the symbol for natural. Yeah? Notice on your chart there's two places. I'm on the third paragraph where notes do not have black keys in between them, between the B and C and the E and F. While you rarely see notes named B sharp, C flat, E sharp, or F flat, they do sometimes occur. Got it? So now we're going to label the fretboard. Now for you guitar players, you're going to find there's still a couple of things in here that you probably haven't learned. Let me just double check I'm doing. Now we're going to label all the notes on the fretboard now that we understand what the sharps and flats are, and half steps and whole steps. Okay? Our phrase, let's say it together for the open strings, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So let's take, from my perspective, from the bottom up, I'm going to call this the fourth string, or the G string. Eddie ate dynamite, good. Eddie ate dynamite, good. So the G string is where we're going to start for right now. Now, if I fret the string at the first fret, I've raised the pitch a half step. If you look at your piano keyboard, what is a half step above G? A G sharp, because sharps go and flats go right. So if I take a G, and there's no adjacent white key that the keyboard players were using on the theory, then it's going to the black key, and the black key would be called G sharp. So that note right there is a G sharp. Now, if you're looking at the keyboard also on your page, G sharp, if I raise it up a half step, now goes to a white key called A. So on the G string, the second fret is A. So if I say second fret on the G string is a, say it one more time louder, I'll get everybody together. The second fret on the G string is an A. G, G sharp, A, and it keeps going up and so forth in half steps. With me so far? So let's just trust me for a second and walk with me and repeat after me. Okay? We're going to do all 6 strings, all 12 frets. We're going to do it quick. If you don't understand when we're done, please raise your hand. Okay? We're going to start with Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie, the top string from the player's perspective, or this guy. If I play it open, it's what? E. If I play it open, it's what? If I go up a half step, it's another half step. F sharp. Say F sharp. Now I'm going to the third fret. What's the third fret on the E string? G is the right answer. If I go up another fret, it's G sharp. Now notice there was a dot on the third fret as an anchor that shows me where I'm at. I'm currently on the 4th one, and I'm going up to the 5th, where there's another dot. The 5th fret of E is 5 half steps above E, which is here. This is the 5th fret of E. It's 5 half steps, 5 frets. Look at the piano keyboard for a second, look at E, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 half steps, white, black, white, and you end up on the note called A. So the 5th fret of E is A. 5 half steps above E is A. Make sense? Sort of, kind of. Okay, we're going to keep going. It's going to start gelling in.